Flanagan.
Are we?
Yes.
Done
Close
set?
the show in 10 minutes.
Hi, yes.
Yes. Great.
Are you letting go in?
Dan, if you can start the FTP Cabaret playlist on Spotify.
A chair, like an accessible chair. Is it like, is there a space set up?
Are you saying that
You have one in every family.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to do a little bit of an intro for everyone. You might know this song, and if you do know it, I'd love for you to sing along with me. I'm a little shy tonight, so some support would be nice. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again, so let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again, all together shout it now, there's no one who can doubt it now, so let's tell the world all about it now. Happy days are here again, your cares and troubles are gone, there'll be no more from now on. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again, so let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. How are we doing tonight? Are you ready to see some wonderful theater? And this is Hallie Flanagan on the piano. And then we're going to do this one more time. Ready for you? Yeah, you know the lyrics now, all of them, right? Yeah, okay. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again, so let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again, all together shout it now, there's no one who can doubt it now, so let's tell the world about it now. Happy days are here again, all cares and troubles are gone, there'll be no more from now on. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again, so let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Let's give it up for Marissa Caravallo and Hallie Flanagan. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Paul Bedard. I'm one of the artistic directors of Theater and Asylum.
My name is Katie Palmer. I'm the co-artistic director of Theater and Asylum, the other one. Here today.
For those of you who don't know Theater and Asylum, we are a downtown theater company that our mission is to challenge and empower our community. So be prepared. We're so happy you're here. We do a lot of political work. We do a ton of play readings. We're obsessed with presidential debates, and recently obsessed with this remarkable period in American history when, like every other country on earth, we actually funded the arts.
Yes, so a bit more context for tonight. The FTP and the FTP Cabaret stands for the Federal Theater Project. So in 1935 to 1939, it was a part of Federal One, which was a part of the WPA, which was a part of the New Deal, which directly funded artists. So artists were paid directly by the federal government for their work in making art. And there's an incredible statistic that in those 4 years, 1 in 4 Americans saw a Federal Theater Project show, which is just incredible. So we have been obsessed with this moment in theatrical history for many years at this point. We will continue to be for many years. But we wanted to bring in a bunch of amazing additional artists to brainstorm with us. So tonight you're going to see 7 different pieces created by 7 different groups of people and artists. And we, the pieces are exploring the contemporary politics, or like the politics at the time of the FTP creation. They're exploring the legacy of the Federal Theater Project. They're exploring the concept of federal theater in a bigger, broader sense. They're exploring the ideas of censorship, all sorts of ideas around what does it mean when the government and the arts intermix. So all the pieces are, they're not going to all agree with each other. They're going to be this beautiful collage, and part of the job of us here in this room is to put all the pieces together and start to have this collective brainstorm and this collective imagining of what does it mean for this country to fund the arts in a substantial way yet again.
So we encourage you to talk about all the work that you're about to see with each other, with us, with the artists that you see. Jalopy Theater and Tavern are also bars, so please tip your bartenders. We have Natalie, who's also running the live stream right now. And on the Tavern side is Jeff and Lauren, so please stick around after the show and tip them with all your money. If you have money after tipping them, Theater Asylum also accepts donations. And for you people on the internet who might be watching, you are welcome to peruse theaterandasylum.com/donate. Couple quick more logistics. 2 acts. There's going to be a 15-minute intermission. Bathrooms are here, but also in the tavern next door. When you are not actively sipping a drink, if you don't mind, please wear a mask. We need to keep the aisles clear during the show because actors will sometimes go down them. And when Act 1 is over, you will hear me announce the intermission and ask you to stay put because we have a big set piece that cannot get onto the stage unless we do it right before intermission. So that will happen. Turn off your cell phones. I think that's everything.
Yeah, so we just wanted to say a couple of thank yous here to start with all of the gratitude that we have for putting on this incredible night. So the 2 Theater and Asylum people are Dan Stearns as our technical director, and Sarah Beery as our stage manager. And we're so happy to be here at Jalopy Theater. Talia is our primary contact, who is just extraordinary, and the entire staff, we're so happy to be here. We're grateful to the Brooklyn Arts Council for funding this. NISCA, the New York State Council of the Arts, also gave money to this, so it's good job, government, giving money to support art about government. And and then the last major thank you is to all the incredible artists who've committed so much amazing time and talent to this night. We're so happy to have them here. So big shout out to them.
And without further ado, Happy New Year from the unemployed artists of Rocco's Tavern.
This place is great.
I told you, and Addie and Chris are great.
Obviously.
And humble.
Obviously.
And the stage is great. Addie lets me rehearse on here whenever I want.
Well, I'm not going to let the talents of my artist friends atrophy just because there's no work around.
This place is huge. Ooh, and there's secret cupboards with hooch in them. So, who's Rocco's Tavern named after?
My dad's middle name is Rocco.
Here it is.
Radio!
I'm hollers.
Oh, the outlet's over here.
I was listening to the radio last night, and West End Blues by Louis Armstrong was playing. And my 9-year-old grandmother got out of her armchair and started dancing. It was beautiful.
This is going to be a great program tonight. It's got live music on it to ring in 1932.
Oh, once the radio program is done, we should all write songs for each other, and we should sing them, and we could make a dance like at the old parties.
Yes, and bask in the quirks of my creation.
How did you afford one of these anyway? You know, they're getting pretty affordable. My family pitched in. I think we got it for $35.
This ain't a depression, no, the economy's booming. Pretty soon we'll all have 100 radios.
Okay, shake a leg. The radio program will be starting soon.
Yeah, let's turn it on.
Wait, first.
Alcohol!
Oh, I would never defile such a refined establishment with illegal substances. It's,
Medicine.
precisely.
I love medicine.
And this is just the medicine we need for a brighter 1932.
Yes.
And a less unemployed 1932?
With fewer canceled shows.
And fewer canceled auditions.
And fewer headlines about how the sky is falling.
And an end to inflation. The electric bill has been
Enough.
crazy.
To an end to the worst year. May 1932 bring us health, happiness, and...
A new president?
Amen.
Cheers!
December 31st, 1931. Gaiety to welcome New Year in tonight. City millions glad to bid 1931 begone, prepare for revels in the traditional style.
Happy New Year! Should old acquaintance be forgotten and only lies there
More bombs discovered in 4 cities point to nationwide anti-fascist plot. Government spurs hunt for terrorists. January 2nd. Burns, in New Year's statement, says gains indicate that Democrats will elect president. January 16th. Plans to give plays in halls of churches. Catholic Guild discusses new move to aid unemployed actors. January 31st. Actors must eat too. At the dinner club, 48th Street, the profession takes care of its own. March 26. Hoover demands budget be balanced as keystone of business recovery.
Oh, why? Does he realize that everyone is out of work? Why can't they just write people checks? Budget be damned.
Well, the no would lead to an abysmal reliance upon the future upon government charity.
Oh, man, that's a pretty good Herbert Hoover.
I'm still working on it.
Oh, I got one. The principals will cripple themselves in an attempt to repay it, and the idle and shiftless will live off the federal government as long as the opportunity exists.
I've definitely heard that one before. It's a congressman, right?
Yes.
M something McConnell.
James Q. Tilson.
Okay, my turn. Okay, how about this? Isn't it better to follow the regular American procedure and give people the chance to feel the joy of giving voluntarily? It's too slow. It's Hiram Bingham, senator from Connecticut.
Yes, we were just about to guess that.
Well, listening to the radio has a dazing, most anesthetic effect on the mind.
And O'Hare McCormick.
I don't even know this stuff.
We listened to the radio.
June 10th. New York's Gaiety Theater closes. Went dark last night with the closing of They Never Come Back.
Okay, dinner on cigar.
November 1st. Hoover charges Roosevelt New Deal would destroy foundation of nation. November 9th. Roosevelt wins in landslide. Democrats control wet Congress.
For President Franklin Delano Roosevelt!
I don't want Congress at a speedy end to this prohibition nonsense.
Yeah!
Happy hours are here again.
December 31st, 1932. Revelry to speed old year, hail new. Celebration along Broadway tonight to be as hearty as in boom years.
Happy New Year!
February 2nd,
1933 is gonna be
Rialto
happy.
Theater closes its doors. February 28th. Incendiary fire wrecks Reichstag. March 24th. Hitler cabinet gets power to rule as a dictatorship. April 7th. Beer flows in 19 states at midnight as city awaits the Independence Day.
Happy hours are here again.
December 3rd, 1933. National Recovery and Civil Works Administration is urged to revive theater. Good plays at low prices by jobless actors suggested for neighborhood houses. December 31st, 1933. 3-day New Year revels begin. City gay on wettest holiday. Prohibition repealed brings type of celebration unknown to younger generation.
Happy New Year!
January 15th, 1934. 150 actors here to get CWA jobs. $28,000 federal grant to be used by Education Board and Actors Equity Association. 12 plays to be produced.
12 plays? Finally a casting call, and from the Civil Works Administration.
And what malarkey the CWA is. What good are a bunch of new bridges and roads if I still spend all day waiting in line for a food handout?
Well, this isn't a handout, it's a job.
Yeah.
Reopening a playhouse?
Yeah.
We all know without the arts, we're on the fast track to fascism.
After all, art is the conscience of society.
Darlings, we are on the fast track to fascism. Don't you see? It's FDR and Hitler on the radio every day. What makes you think that we... No, it's fine. I
In
didn't want to
local
talk
news,
anyway.
the Civil Administration's $28,000 grant program to provide relief for unemployed actors is underway. Auditions held yesterday overwhelmed
Yesterday?
the offices of the Actors Equity Association building at 45 West 47th Street. Approximately 1,000 players seeking 150 jobs.
1,000
showed up
actors for
the audition.
150
It was
jobs?
understood that each player would receive $25 a week for 2 weeks of
$25 a
rehearsals
week.
and
That's
2
even
plays.
more than I made before
Among
the
the
crash.
12 plays to be offered free of charge in schools, auditoriums, hospitals, and museums are The First Year by Frank Cavan, The Show Off by Georg Kelly, Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream, and She Stoops to Cook. Administrators at the CWS
Writers will work on
should
new
this program be
plays.
successful,
Why not
it
switch
might
to
provide a
that?
model for future efforts to support the entertainment industry for the well-being of cultural workers and audiences alike.
Future efforts!
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be a royal failure, and King Roosevelt will have all those actors back on the bread lines as soon as the curtain falls.
I don't know. I think it could work.
I hear FDR's wife is pulling for the arts.
Yeah, but what good can she really do? Does she really have any power to make the big decisions? $28,000 decisions?
It's gonna take a lot more than that.
How about $1 million?
Now you're talking my language.
The government is giving billions to Roosevelt's New Deal, whatever, so can't they spare one morsel for the theater?
Don't forget about music.
Oh, and writers.
Oh, yes. Let's open up the floodgates. Let's send relief checks to every American. As if.
No, times are changing. Unions are holding all sorts of rallies. Congress could do it. Pass stuff if they wanted to. They've done it before. And now the CWA is holding auditions? If Eleanor's really pulling for us, I think there's hope.
April 28th, 1934. Unemployed actors organize.
See?
December 31st, 1934. New Year's revels to be most lavish since boom days.
Oh, they say that every year.
I'm tired of comparing ourselves to the moon.
Happy New Year!
August 4th. 18,000 musicians to get jobs in federal arts relief program. Officials predict a musical renaissance in nation. September 15th. Federal relief aids in service of arts. Writers and specialists are to be enrolled along with musicians and many stage people.
It's happening!
Everything we've been waiting for. Someone said musical renaissance. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got that string around my finger. I've got a song that I sing. I can make the rainbow anytime I move my finger. But you really can't see I'm in love.
So how's this going to work?
Ladies and gentlemen, Hallie Flanagan!
Professor Flanagan?
Yeah, why not? She's a great director. She's traveled the world. I mean, who else would be a better fit? She's our professor from Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, right? The one and only.
Wait. You're telling me a professor from Poughkeepsie or whatever is going to leave her little college fighting for a bureaucratic nightmare in Washington?
Well, why not? She's friends with Harry Hopkins,
Ooh.
the CWA guy in Washington. Bring, bring.
Hello, I'm Hallie Flanagan.
Hi, Hallie. How are ya? It's Harry Hopkins, your old pal from Grinnell.
Ah!
Good to see you again.
Hey, wait, I thought this was a phone call.
Listen, Hallie, we got a lot of actors down here on our hands. Why don't you come down to New York? We can talk about it.
I'm sorry, Harry, but I'm going to England next week for a job.
What kind of job? Oh, never mind. Come down to New York. It's gonna be big, Hallie.
I would, Harry, but I simply can't. Besides, Besides, I'm not at all interested in yet another one of your government projects.
But if you're not interested, who would be?
I don't know, Edith Isaacs, Eva Le Gallienne, Elmer Rice?
Hallie Flanagan?
No.
What are you doing?
Oh, and who might you be?
Eva Le Gallienne. You may have seen me on the cover of Time magazine. It's refreshing to see that there are people who still appreciate real theater, not that rot you see on Broadway. I have started many a production on the Great White Way. Believe me, it is full of real estate men and tycoons exploiting art for profit. They don't know the difference between acting and indicating.
Oh, wait, but do you?
People need exposure to the classics. People need variety. That's why I started Civic Rep. We enrich the minds with the words of Ibsen, Chekhov, and Shakespeare. All for the price of a sandwich.
What crowds we drew at Civic Rep! Energies I've never seen before on Broadway! Patrons like Otto Cole! Too bad he turned out to be a criminal! Pay your taxes, dummy! President Roosevelt asked me to run the Federal Theater! Let's take anyone off the street and put them on the stage! The more, the merrier!
I'm not here to feed hungry actors. I want to work with the best.
No. I wanted to make the theater a way of life only for those with the talent and determination enough to qualify. I made sure my company harbored the true art of theater. I don't want to run nothing for relief actors. Oh! I only want to work with true artists. Like you all.
Hear, hear. Operator, please connect me with Hallie Flanagan.
Yes, one moment, please. She'll be with you shortly.
Hello?
Hallie! It didn't work out with Eva. She's the butterfly's boots, all pizzazz. But she didn't want the job. So, how about you?
Now, Harry, I thought a lot about
This is a
proposal.
tough job we're asking you to do. I don't know why I still hang on to the idea that unemployed actors get just as hungry as anybody else.
Have you set up any new projects since you spoke to me last year?
Yes, but it's all relief, just relief, nothing else. But could it be more? That's the question. Didn't you spend a lot of time making a survey for the Guggenheim Foundation about the way foreign governments run theater?
Yes, but it seems to me the problem here has a different aspect. But here the main issue is giving work to people on relief roles regardless of their excellence. However, I see no reason that a project even under these conditions could not do an ambitious program of plays.
So you don't think people on relief roles would necessarily be bad actors?
No, I think there might be gifted people on relief roles who, well, you see, they wouldn't be relief workers once they got started. No, they'd be theater workers again. And people would come if the plays were good and wouldn't come if the plays were bad.
Hallie, it's got me!
Harry, have you tried out Elmer Rice?
The playwright?
Yes, Elmer Rice!
Hi, yes, hello, hi, it's me, Elmer Rice. Thank you for meeting me, Harry. I'll cut straight to it, Harry. Wouldn't you like to have a non-commercial repertory theater presenting new American names at depression ticket prices in the hub of American theater?
What's the catch, Elmer?
I need $100,000 of your Federal One budget.
Oh.
Let me explain. We will have a resident acting company made of professional, talented actors, willing and able to work as an ensemble, no prima donnas, as well as an apprentice program. We will be able to pay our actors and still make revenue to use on future seasons. They won't be getting a Broadway salary, but these days, any salary's better than that.
True, and where would this be?
I have acquired the Belasco Theater, which, despite seating over 1,000 people, still has a living room feeling perfect for new American plays.
I see. This sounds promising, but I still need to find a director for this federal theater project. You know anyone you can recommend?
Myself? I joke, I'm never leaving New York. Actually, I did meet a woman at a national theater conference last year who I believe might be the perfect fit. I believe her name is Hallie Flanagan.
She sent me to you!
Oh, who wouldn't? I'm so charming. So, that's a yes for the 100K?
First things first. I've got to find a director for this program.
Ring, ring! Ring, ring! Ring!
Hello, Hallie.
Hi, Harry.
When can you go to work?
Harry, I told you, I'm not the person to direct this whole enterprise.
Why not?
Commercial theaters don't want a non-commercial theater person.
This is a non-commercial theater. It's got to be run by a person who sees right from the start that the profits won't be money profits.
September 22nd, 1935. Vassar's Hallie Flanagan entrusted with the security of actors and the fate of the stage.
Harry!
The federal theater project's got to take a wide view. This is a big country, and who better than you?
At the very least, don't you think it should be someone in New York?
Hallie, I think something about these plays you've been doing for the last 10 years. They're American plays. This is an American job. It's not just a New York job. The person who directs it needs to know and care about the rest of the country. It's a job that's right up your alley.
I am not going to produce a bunch of big Broadway musicals. This is not going to be Ziegfeld Follies. And you won't see an endless cycle of revivals of every play Shakespeare's ever written.
No, of course not. Look, the theater's got to change. To quote you and every other artist alive,
The theater
is dead!
November 3rd, 1935. Actors enlisted under Arts Fund.
So you'll do it?
Federal aid will be used to create work and replace relief. New plays to be seen.
Okay.
September 24th, 1935. 5,644 stage folk on U.S. payroll. Mrs. Hallie Flanagan, head of Federal Theater Project, outlines work done.
Woo! It's really happening! The Federal Theater Project!
December 31st, 1935. City waits gayest New Year's Eve since carefree whoopee days.
The gayest New Year's Eve in a generation.
More medicine!
And more jobs for artists.
Yeah, more shows with lots of new music.
And auditions for days.
And no more headlines about how the sky is falling.
It seems every year is the worst year, but 1936 already feels right. To the new year, to each other, to Hallie Flanagan, and the success of the Federal Theater Project. Yay!
Oh!
we have an excerpt from Red Clay Halo, written by Andy Boyd and directed by Christian Robertson.
Morning, Billy.
Hello, Mr. Leland.
You can call me Harry.
We're supposed to use last names in the union. Sign of respect.
Oh. Okay. You want me to call you Miss Barstow?
That's the rule.
Okay. Makes me feel kind of funny calling you that. Cause how close we always been?
How close is that?
Hop, skip, and a jump. Stone's throw.
Oh, I see. You're talking geography.
Huh?
Not psychology or sociology or ideology. So, yeah, we're close. We're neighbors.
I made some coffee.
Oh, good.
Would you like some?
Sure.
It's just over here by the stove. How you know all them words, them ologies?
I read
You read what?
things, different things, whatever I can get my hands on.
Care to be more specific?
There's Farmer's Almanac, A Crisis, The Daily Worker. Anytime I see a passenger train come through, I run down to the tracks, and sometimes the Pullman porter smiles at me and throws something out the window. Like a farmer in his own way, sowing seeds, only he don't really know what he's planting.
What is he playing?
Revolution.
You really believe that?
Sure I do. Do you know what revolution means, Mr. Leland?
It means blood and guts. Blood running in the
It
streets.
means a turning. We're trying to turn this country around. What we're fighting for? Land to the landless and end to shared property. It would take a revolution. It would be a revolution.
And you think
What?
nothing? Well, damn it! I forgot the coffee. You're always talking like you know things. Like when Reverend Williams was talking about how we could just stand on our heels and watch the whole thing come crashing down to the ground. I was listening like someone was tearing open my skull and pouring hot metal into it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But I looked at you, and you was just nodding your head like you heard it all before, like you agreed with every word. All them ologies. Any of them tell us what's going to happen?
Well, there's astrology.
Okay!
Yeah, that one's fake.
What about all them papers you read? Any of them talk about stuff like this?
About strikes? Sure. Some of them seem like all they talk about is strikes.
And?
And what?
And what usually happens?
A lot of things can happen. In 1931, miners in Hallie County, West Virginia, went on strike to protest violence and intimidation. The bosses responded with violence and intimidation. In 1932, auto workers in Detroit marched on Ford headquarters to protest layoffs. Ford security opened fire, killing 4 and wounding dozens. 1933, farm workers in Pixley County.
Yeah, okay, I get it. We're fucked.
No, they won that one. Bosses killed 5, but they got their pay raise. What?
can't you tell when a fella's looking for some words of encouragement?
What are you asking me for?
Well, because all those years you talking to anyone who would listen about what you read in a book, about what someone wrote in a magazine, trying to talk like what happens in New York or Europe matters something more than nothing to sharecroppers in the boot heel. I always thought you were kind of crazy. We used to call you the professor behind your back.
Wasn't always behind my back.
Yeah, when we was laughing at you, and I was laughing at you. I used to say, shoot! Billy Barstow, how about you join us here on the ground? But now the ground is moving beneath our feet. Maybe someone with some knowledge of the clouds is exactly what we need.
Where's Baby Blue? She still asleep?
No, she went for a walk.
A what?
A walk? You know, it's when you wiggle your legs so your feet go.
She's
one
too
in
young
front
to
of
be
the
going
other
off
in
on
the
her
direction
own,
you want.
Mr. Leland.
No, she ain't. She got a good head on her shoulders.
She's 8 years old, Harry.
Shit, I know that. I was there.
There's government folks here. Folks from the health department, from the cruelty.
Wait, really? You saw him?
Yeah, with their clipboards, writing stuff down.
Shit. Baby Blue! Baby Blue! Baby Blue!
Hello, Miss Barstow.
Oh, Baby Blue, there you are. I've been worried half to death. Let me get a look at you. Turn around. Ooh, I like that potato sack dress you got on.
Thank you. I like it because of the flowers.
Well, wouldn't you know? That's why I like it too. Only, I wish you'd take better care of it instead of letting it get all caked with mud.
You ain't my mama.
I know.
My mama's dead. She's a ghost.
Yes. How'd you get so dirty so fast?
Some boys call me a name.
Bad thing?
Yeah,
What'd they call you?
a girl.
Well, that's not a bad name.
It is the way they said it. They said I couldn't play with them because I'm a girl. I said, no, you're a girl. And a little pussy bitch. And I showed her a thing or two. Papa.
Listen, you can't be talking like that, alright?
Just made me so mad. I don't want to be a girl.
Well, what do you want to be?
I want to be like you.
A woman? Well, you gotta be a girl before you can be a woman.
I want to be your kind of woman. Wearing overalls and farming my own plot. I've been living with a man too damn long.
Baby Blue! Baby Blue, you're back. Woo! Now don't you go running off like that again. You hear?
You said I could.
Where'd you run off to anyway?
I went to see the people who all was in the union. I thought maybe it was just us in our little camp. But you walk a ways past ours, and there's another one, and another, and another. Must be 1 million people on this highway.
Over 1,000.
What's the difference?
1 million is 1,000,000.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1,000, 1 million, it's too damn many.
Too many for what?
When you told us we had to leave our homes, I thought to myself, where will we go? And then I remembered about the president. I remember when the landlord let us sit in the grass outside his window while he played the president's speeches out of his radio. Only it didn't sound like speeches, just sounded like a real nice man just talking to you. I tried to talk back and you hushed me. I thought maybe we could live with him at the White House. I see pictures that looks real big, like one of them big plantation houses, and I figured they could spare just one of them rooms for you and me. But looking at all these people, damn it, I don't know if there's a house in the world that could fit us all.
We're not trying to stay at the White House. We're just trying to get our homes back. We need to soften these landlords' hearts. Make them see the miserable condition they put us in.
That's not how I see it. Strikes aren't about hearts or harps and angels. Strikes are about power, using our power.
What power?
Think about it like this. Who needs who more? You or the landlord?
Well, I'd say we need him. I mean, we need to get our homes back, right, Papa?
Yes, right.
What if there weren't any landlords?
That'd be nice.
What would you do?
A dance.
What about you, Harry? What would you do in a world without landlords?
Well, I'd probably do most of the same stuff I do now. Plant cotton and corn. Probably spend more time on vegetables, less on cotton to sell. Spend more time on the house, knowing I could stay there. I'd make it a real nice place for me and Baby Blue.
And what about the landlords? What would they do with no workers?
They'd be shit out of luck.
Baby Blue.
So you see, they need you more than you need them, really.
Huh. I guess you're right. You're pretty smart, Miss Barstow.
In the big rock candy mountains, you can never change your socks, and the little streams of alcohol come trickling down the rocks. The brakemen have to tip their hats, and the railroad bulls are blind. There's a lake of stew and whiskey too. You can paddle all around it in a big canoe in the big rock candy mountains. That's what you sound like.
What?
Don't see the point. Talking about a world without landlords? You might as well be talking about a world without mosquitoes. You're filling my daughter's head up with foolish notions, just setting her up for disappointment when we lose.
We ain't gonna lose, Harry.
How do you know that? What makes us any different from those folks in West Virginia, or Detroit, or any other place? We're homeless, landless, hogless, practically begging on the side of the highway, and you're talking about power? This ain't what power looks like to me. Ain't what power feels like. Bones poking at my skin, stomach growling like a hound dog. I've had a twitch in my eye for about 2 weeks, hadn't gone away. I just don't feel very much like I'm winning.
Harry, what you say on a strike makes the strike. Makes or breaks it. You keep on going around like you are sulking, like you got your own personal rain cloud dumping on your head, and you're hurting the whole union. That despair, that feeling of hopelessness spreads like boll weevil. So stand up, act right. No, I mean it. Don't slouch. Get your chin off your chest. Now smile. Wave to the nice man. There. Don't that feel better?
Yeah. Little.
That's all this is, really. We think we're fighting the landlords. We ain't. We're fighting ourselves. Our own despair, our own tiredness, our own toes feel like they're going to jump off our feet. They think they got us beat because they can pay off everyone from the dog catcher to the president of the United States. But you know what we got?
What?
We got people.
I'm tired of moon songs, of star and of June songs. They simply make me nap. And ditties romantic drive me nearly frantic. I think they're all full of pap. History's making, nations are quaking. Why sing of stars above? For while we are waiting, the Father Time's creating new things to be singing of. Sing me a song with social significance.
else that will do. With heat in it, appealing with feeling and needing it. Sing me a song with social significance, or you can sing till you're blue. Let meaning shine from every line, or I won't love you. Sing me of wars and sing me of breadlines. Tell me of front page news. Sing me of strikes and last minute headlines. Dress your observation in syncopation. Sing me a song with social significance. There's nothing else that will do. It must be tense with common sense, or I won't love you. And now we have a piece called A Colorless World, created by Alexis Atkinson.
A colorless world.
Where are the stars?
Long live the peace of our state. We preserve the peace with productivity. Productivity is purpose. Our purpose is peace. Peace is integral to the state. State is sacred. New law is sacred.
New law, section 808. For the sanctity of the state, all products considered artistic material must be in service of the commerce of the state.
New law, section 327. Commerce is law. Law is commerce. All items that do not serve commerce are considered a threat to the state.
New law, section 415. Anyone engaging in illegal activity that threatens the sanctity of the state, but not limited to going outside your assigned location, engaging in unapproved art making, possessing contraband of any kind, not taking your dietary pills on a regular basis, and so on, is punishable by reset.
Chief Enforcement Android 994-9. Olivia Expression, reporting for duty.
Enforcement Android 321-9. Artemis Curious, B2, reporting for duty.
Enforcement Android 753-9. Visualize Investigation, B3, reporting for duty.
Where are the cosmos now?
What was that?
Where is the eye
Do you guys hear that?
that will shift up the atmosphere? Where are State is sacred. New law is sacred.
State is sacred. New law is B3.
I'm sorry, B2. Didn't you hear that?
Hear what?
Where are
Contraband.
There.
Gosh! Huh? You? What are you But V2, she's just...
Where are the stars? Where are the cosmos now?
Civilian, you were in violation of new law.
Wait, V1, she didn't mean to, or she didn't realize what she was doing.
Ignorance of new law is no excuse for breaking it. Non-commercial contraband is a serious offense.
We can let her off with a warning.
Are you off your pills, V2? What's wrong with you?
She's V2's sister. She brought her to last month's day assembly. Imogen, right?
You? Don't you work in archives? What's a little librarian like you doing out so late? Dealing in illegal materials, no doubt. Do you know how many lives you've put in danger?
I just wanted privacy. I didn't want to disturb anyone. I meant no harm.
Sis, have you been taking your pills? You know how you get when you miss a dose.
It doesn't matter. We need to get her to the enforcement hall pronto before anyone else hears her.
Shh! Stop that. You're in enough trouble as it is.
Just lay low.
I know this will be hard for you, but your vocation is in service to the state. Relationships are not sacred. State is. You got it?
Yes, V1, I got it.
You okay?
State is sacred. New law is sacred. Long live the peace of our state.
In the year 3051, on the third day of the 8th month, we hold court order under the sanctity of new law in the case of Society versus Creative Contraband number 4475.
State your manufacturer, class, and code, and give a name for the record.
Archival Android 321-6. Imogen Curious.
Imogen Curious. Archival Android 321-6. Model 501. You are accused 1 count of illegal performance art, 3 counts of unauthorized audience engagement, 1 count of withholding evidence, 1 count of non-commercial artistic creation, 1 count of breaking curfew.
That's a bit excessive, don't you think?
It's the law.
Right. New law is sacred.
These crimes, if found guilty, are punishable by an extended stay in androidal rehabilitation or confinement and possible reset. How do you plead?
Not guilty, I think.
Did you initiate the illegal activity you have been dispersing?
Initiate?
Did you create it?
Oh, no. I wish.
I beg your pardon?
No. I found it.
Where did you come across the contraband item in question?
At my assignment hall, ma'am.
Interesting. Where is your assignment? I'm curious.
At the Hall of Oddities and Pre-Revitalization Records.
And your assignment is?
I archive pre-new law pieces that we now know to be threats to the peace of our society.
And what does that entail?
I record type, make, and model of artistic contraband by basic monikers. Movement base, performative deception and verisimilitude, auditory, and so on. Generally, I'm looking for pieces to repurpose for capital gain, advertising, and commerce.
Performative deception and verisimilitude. Clarify for the record.
What the old world might have called acting. I specialize in performance, but those are usually above my pay grade.
And how deeply do you engage in the contraband you are in contact with?
Never deeply. It was just an abnormal assignment.
Abnormal?
Yes. Usually director droids will deliver our assignments to our desk for us to organize and archive. And in sensitive occasions, we are assigned a privacy cubby to delve into 1 or 2 highly dangerous materials. These malignant pieces are usually items of political dissent,
abstract indecency and immorality, propaganda. We're usually looking for possible threats to the peace of the society lingering, or a connection to a group or collective that might harbor animosity towards the state. And it's accepted among archivists that these pieces will be destroyed. But
what?
Ms. Curious, we just want to get to the bottom of this and hopefully restore order to you and the state.
Your silence won't keep us from prosecuting. Why not let the system do its job?
because I couldn't let it be destroyed.
Why not?
Because it shows what's possible. I encounter so many beautiful ideas in my work, but this was real. It stirred something in my circuit plexus I can't describe.
Classify the contraband item in question.
It was a book.
Tell us about the book.
Well, it was called Furious Improvisations, and it told the true story of artists in the 1930s who were employed by the government to make art. At one point, the Federal Theater Project employed 12,000 artists in 28 states at over 150 theaters. About 500,000 in total. The amount of people employed just to express themselves? I couldn't believe the government would allow, encourage even. It just seemed creative and vibrant, and that didn't seem malignant to me.
But it was designated malignant by your supervisors.
Yes, but maybe they didn't know, or maybe they got it wrong. I think that kind of ingenuity is something we need as a state. I know I need it.
Just curious, you mentioned earlier that you have the power to pronounce artistic contraband recyclable depending on its commercial value, correct?
Yes.
Is there any limit on your authority to petition for recycling?
Not that I'm aware of.
So if you really believed in this piece, you could have petitioned for its repurposing, if commercially valuable, yes.
I suppose.
I do not understand your line of questioning, V3.
Miss Curious, what commercial value does this ingenuity serve to the private sector or the state? Surely if you believe this deeply in the book, then it must have some societal contribution.
Purpose.
What do you mean?
Well, if productivity is our purpose, and we don't produce anything original, if we are not fiscally encouraged to create, then we ourselves are wasted resources. Maybe the government should allow androids to find their purpose in creative, productive ways rather than assigning, recycling, and regurgitating.
That is treasonous talk, Miss Curious. The state has assigned you a purpose. What more do you need?
Are you sure it was only the book?
In the back of the book, someone wrote, I'm not sure if it was their thoughts or notes or a poem, but it was lovely.
What did it say?
It said, where are the stars? Where are the cosmos now? Where is the art that will shift up the atmosphere? And then I heard a melody in it.
A melody? In the book?
No,
Then, from where?
I heard it coming from inside of me.
Will you show the court?
It's not a commercial tune. May I proceed?
Be one.
For the purposes of cross-examination, proceed.
Where are the stars? Where are the cosmos now? Where is the art that will shift up the atmosphere? Where are the artists now? Where are the cosmos now? Where art we? Where are we? It felt like whoever wrote that was speaking to me. And then this melody, it just came. I couldn't let them take that away.
D3, your nexus.
You? What have you done to me?
Me?
What did you do? How did you do that?
I didn't do anything. It was the song.
Your song.
She didn't mean to. You asked her to demonstrate, and she did.
I didn't know she was contaminated.
Order! You are both acting erratically.
You put us in danger by telling her to do that.
I was doing my job. We enforce, not to explore. You should try it sometime.
Order!
You end up like your sister.
Order! Do not desecrate my court with emotionality.
My sentiments aside, she is clearly a victim of being exposed to too much dangerous material. We can't control how the contraband will affect her or others. It's only a light. No malicious activity has occurred.
Enough, V2. Continue these outbursts and you'll find yourself before the probationary committee. Miss Curious, bottom line, you went against the peace and the order of commerce, which is a treasonous offense.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Imogen Curious, effective immediately. You are to be escorted to a rehabilitation domain where you are to remain for the next 20 days. There, your pill dosage will be doubled to ensure this incident never occurs again. Should you object or refuse to cooperate, you can expect a prompt referral for factory reset. Understood?
Understood.
The stars.
Where are the cosmos now? Where is the art
That will shift up the atmosphere. Where are the artists now? Where are the cosmos now? Where are we? Where are we? A cautionary tale.
Short intermission, but we're gonna move a big set piece through this very clear audience aisle first.
Yeah, we love tech.
Thank you. We're gonna take about 15 minutes, and please tip your bartenders. Thank you.
34 seconds.
Okay, we're good. Now we're good.
and collaborators. Thank you so much.
Samotność.
Loneliness.
Cóż po ludziach?
What? A singer from the people, for the people?
Śpiewa dla ludzi? Gdzie człowiek, co z mej pieśni
Where's the man who
całą
will hear
myśl
my
wysłucha,
song?
obejmie okiem wszystkie
Will her
promienie jej
vision fall in all
ducha?
the rays of her soul?
Nieszczęsny kto dla
Wretched,
ludzi
he whose
głos
voice and
i
tongue
język
struggle for
ludzi.
the people.
Język kłamie głosowi,
The tongue lies to
a
the
głos
voice,
myślą
the
kłamie.
voice lies to the thoughts.
Myśl z duszy leci bystro.
Thought from soul flies before words break.
Nim się w słowach złamie,
Words swallow the thought and
a słowa
tremble on it,
myśl pochłoną i tak drżą nad myślą,
like the
jak
earth
ziemia
above the
nad
swallowed
połkniętą
unseen river.
niewidzialną rzeką.
Will the people
Zdrżenia
question
ziemi,
the
czy
depths of
ludzie
the
z
trembling
głowy
earth?
nurtów docieką? Gdzie pędzi?
Will they ask where the river
Się
runs?
domyślą? Uczucie krąży w duszy, rozpala się, żarzy jak krew po swych głębokich,
Feeling swirls in
niewidomych
the
cieśniach.
soul, kindles, glows, like blood running blindly through dark canals.
Ile krwi tylko ludzie widzą w mojej twarzy,
The amount of blood
tyle
that
tylko
people
z
see
mych
flood my
uczuć
face
dostrzegą w mych pieśniach.
is the same feeling they will hear in my songs.
Drodzy przyjaciele, dear friends, the Juliusz Słowacki Theatre in Krakow, one of Poland's most important theatres, has found itself in an extremely difficult situation. The firing of its artistic director, Krzysztof Głuchowski, with no substantial artistic or legal grounds for such a dismissal. In November, the Słowacki premiered the iconic drama of Polish Romanticism, Adam Mickiewicz's Dziady, for Father's Eve, directed by Maja Kleczewska. It became a powerful voice in the discussion with our contemporary world and the condition of today's divided Poland. However, the production disturbed the politicians of law and justice, the political party that is governing Poland. The head of Małopolska Regional Board of Education issued a statement strongly discouraging teachers and students from going to see the play. The Minister of Education called it dziadostwo, junk, and the Minister of Culture also took a distanced stand. None of them have seen the play.
How does the symbol of the seed from the fairy tale told by Żegota explain the martyrdom of Polish youth? When analyzing the quoted fragment of Adam Mickiewicz Dziady, pay attention to the courses and their attitudes. Answer the prompt in 1,000 words or less.
Wydaje mi się to paradoksalne,
It
że
seems
uważa
paradoxical
się
to
Dziady
me
za jeden z
that Dziady is
najważniejszych
considered to be
twórców
one of the most
Słowacji.
iconic Polish texts.
Analizuje się go w
It is
szkołach,
analyzed in schools, quoted in scientific papers, but suddenly the Polish government finds the text to be objectionable when put on stage.
Cynicznego wystawiania.
I traveled to Poland in November 2021, and I saw the production of Dziady that led to the Słowacki Theatre losing its funding. I didn't know anything about the show other than that it was written by like the Shakespeare of Poland, and everybody, you know, it's like this classic text. So I was like, if it's a classic text that like everybody's like studying in school, like mandatory reading, then why does the government have such an issue with it, you know, going up on stage? So I saw the show, and I remember the moment where there's this pedophilic priest character who gets fucking decked on stage, like on the altar. There's blood. And I was like, okay, and that's where the problem is. I get it.
I encountered Dziady for the first time in middle school and then second time in high school for a very deep, in-depth historical analysis. And the romantic period of literature that we learn in school is very much taught from a Polish point of view, and it's supposed to teach us about the martyrdom of Poland, about the sacrifice of the whole nation in order for other European countries to thrive. We're at that time, partition nation, non-existent on the map. And 1800s was time of a lot of failed uprisings that defined that national consciousness they were trying to teach us, and out of the respect for our ancestors' suffering, now we are suffering in the classroom. So I think we weren't necessarily ready to take that burden of generational trauma at the age of 14. You know, it was heavy and boring.
Nasza scena miała zostać sceną narodową.
Our stage was to become a national theater, a position granted to very few theaters in Poland, which means it would receive Polish national funding as opposed to regional government funds. This means greater prestige for the theater as well as a greater amount of funding. The government's opposition to Jadi led the Slovacki theater losing the opportunity to gain national status. The Slovacki theater responded to the war in Ukraine and the ensuing refugee crisis, which brought millions of Ukrainians into Poland. The theater turned its rehearsal rooms into a shelter for refugees, and the workers of the theater volunteered their time to help refugees secure transportation and housing, as well as providing food.
My friend Carol, every single Thursday is there, like 8 o'clock in the morning, and just makes sandwiches for like 3 hours. Like, they're on it.
The theater was also one of the first to put on a benefit concert to aid Ukraine on the 3rd or 4th day of the war.
I saw the live stream, and it was fucking amazing. Like, they're doing the thing, you know?
Dla Ukrainy to było chyba 3 lub 4 dnia, zaraz na początku wojny.
The head of Lesser Poland Region's Department of Education wrote this scathing letter about the production of Jadi. She said, "Does anyone undertaking the staging of Jadi have the right to disembowel the bard's work from his message of love for the motherland and fill it with street filth under the feminist sign of the red lightning bolt, proclaiming the apology for the murder of the unborn?" Abortion is currently illegal in Poland except for extreme medical circumstances. Why is the Slovacki theater today staging a play stripped of its universal message in favor of ad hoc dirty politics, leftist ideological indoctrination, and a disgusting sauce of postmodern stereotypes? Which is my new artistic statement.
Mix Barkomi, how would you describe your artistic practice?
It's a disgusting sauce of postmodern stereotypes.
The government was scared and did not want to be compared with the politics and censorship from the communist era. They wanted the theater to say that there was no censorship happening at the Slovacki. They wanted the theater to make a statement saying this to the press.
So, as you figured when I was reading that text, it did not resonate with me at all. And for most of us, it was just an overly dramatic, archaic text, and we used to make fun of it all the time just to make it through the historical symbolisms. It's just, it was so confrontational for us, this kind of a Polishness is too much for us. And from my current point of view, now I can see how in school they were passionately trying to instill in us these traditional values and meaning nationalistic and very patriarchal, and not only through Jadi, that text, but most of our canon, the mandatory reading, is this great patriotic material. And when you look into deeper, there is not much space for a lot of foreign perspectives either.
As a result, the Ministry of Culture cut 3 million zloty from the Slovacki theater's budget. Polish artists speculate that the government wants to replace our artistic director with someone sympathetic to the government's conservative values. The premieres of 2 productions were delayed or cancelled as a result of funding being cut.
I went to Poland in October 2021 to direct a show at the Slovacki Theater, and this was my first experience working at a state-funded theater. I was blown away by the fact that the artists were paid salaries. They own their own homes, they own cars, they don't have thousands of dollars of student loans. And it, I couldn't help but compare it to my own experience in the United States, where I work, like 2 or 3 jobs to then put on my theater, which does not pay and loses me money usually, where theaters have to, beg for funding in order to stay open. And it made me think about the kind of censorship that we are experiencing as American artists, which I think is financially determined. So whoever has the money to buy themselves space are the voices that are heard. And I think that that's kind of a economic censorship in determining whose voice is heard in the American theater landscape.
On a typical exam, there is no space for creative freedom in terms of interpretation of Jady. And I was in that situation. I was writing one of these essays, and I didn't remember that particular part of the text that they were showing. And I decided to rely largely on my general knowledge of the whole piece. I analyzed the dialogue. I took the dramatic perspective in analyzing my text, and I really thought I put something of value on the paper. But then it turned out I barely passed. Because whatever I found in text, it was not valid. It did not meet the key of the essay for the interpretation. So really, whatever I said, whatever my opinions were, none of that mattered. And now that I'm looking at what's happening at Slovatsky, I'm so excited and so hopeful to see that kind of resistance to keep up their programming, but I am also terrified because we know what the Polish government is capable of, and I am terrified. I don't know what kind of weapon they will use on us to silence us next time seeing our response.
These methods of economic censorship have led to the Slovatsky theater shifting its financial model. Our theater now has to rely on private funding and donations to continue our programming. If these changes keep the theater open, then I accept that they are needed. But I don't like seeing the Slovatsky theater selling merchandise and expensive champagne and fancy box seats for the wealthy. The theater has been forced to become a more capitalistic organization. But if the Slovatsky theater can survive, I will be glad.
Sprzedaje jakieś towary drogiego szampana w loży dla zamożnych ludzi. No cóż, jeśli teatr przeżyje, będę zadowolony.
With this reduction in funding, the Slovatsky theater now looks a lot more like theaters in the United States, which makes me wonder, how should we feel as American theater artists if the way that we work here is the worst case possible scenario for theater?
Conrad's monologue is an argument with God. Conrad compares himself to God and says that he could be a better leader of the people, since he would rule with the heart rather than the mind.
Ja kocham cały naród. Popiąłem w ramiona wszystkie przeszłe i przyszłe jego pokolenia. Przycisnąłem tu do łona jak przyjaciel, kochanek, małżonek, jak ojciec.
From a letter written by the theater's literary manager Jakub Roszkowski, signed by all workers at the Slovatsky. The theater recognizes the decision of the board of the Małopolska region to defund the theater and fire its artistic director, Krzysztof Głuchowski, as a politically motivated, groundless intervention into the autonomy of a cultural institution and an attempt at limiting creative freedom.
Przyszedłem zbrojny całą myśli władzą. Tej myśli, co niebiosom Twe gromy wydarła. Śledziła chód Twych planet. Głąb morza rozwarła.
A punitive step for the creation and staging of Jady.
Mam więcej. Tę moc, której ludzie nie nadadzą. Mam to uczucie, co się samo w sobie chowa. Jak wulkan tylko dymi niekiedy przez słowa.
After the economic censorship, now comes an attempt at censoring the artistic program of a theater.
Niech ludzie będą dla mnie jak myśli i słowa, z których gdy zechcę, pieśni wiąże się budowa. Mówią, że ty tak władasz. Wiem, że myśli nie popsuł, mowy nie umorzył. Jeśli mnie nad duszami równą władzę nadasz, ja bym mój naród jak pieśń żywą stworzył. I większe niż ty zrobiłbym dziwo. Zanuciłbym pieśń szczęśliwą.
We request support for Krzysztof Głuchowski, the Juliusz Słowacki Theatre in Krakow, and the right to artistic freedom in Poland.
Daj mi rząd tuż.
Teraz duszą jam w moją ojczyznę wcielony. Now my soul is like my land. Now my soul is one with my land. Ciałem połknąłem jej duszę. And my body swallows her soul.
Swallowed her soul.
Something like this. Nazywam się Milion, bo za miliony kocham i cierpię katusze.
My name is Million. For the millions I love, for the millions I am tortured. I am looking at my poor motherland like a child watching their parent broken on the wheel. I can feel the sufferings of the whole nation. Or like a mother feels pain for the children of her womb. I suffer. I rave while you wisely, happily, always command, always judge, and they say you never make mistakes. Listen, if it's true what I heard with the faith of a child when I was born into the world that you love, if you giving birth to this world loved it, if your heart was open to the animals you sheltered, no, locked in the ark, if your heart is not a monster born out of chance to a brief life, if by your laws kindness is not named chaos, if you look at the millions of suffering, screaming help, more than just a list of debts to settle, if love is needed at all in your world, and it's more than just your accounting error, you are silent. I open my heart into the deep. I implore you, give me your power. Just one part of the power's devil. Oh, the part of what the earth achieved with pride. With that particle, how much happiness I could create. You are silent. You will not give for the heart, give for the mind. You see, I am the first of humans. I am the first from the crowd of your angels and know you better than your archangels too. If I'm wrong, speak. You're silent. I'm not lying. You are quiet and proud and trust your strong-armed might. But know that my feeling will burn, but thought will not break. You see, this is my bonfire. This feeling, I hammer it into my ironclad will like a bullet into a destroying cannon. Woo!
You sent him far away, you shouted hip hooray, but look at him today. Remember my forgotten man, you had him cultivate the land. You walked behind a plow, the sweat fell from his brow, but look at him right now. And once he used to love me, I was happy then. He used to take care of me. Won't you bring him back again? 'Cause ever since the world began, a woman's got to have a man. Forgetting him, you see, means you're forgetting me. Like my forgotten man.
And now for a contemporary piece reminiscent of a cabaret act from days gone by, here's Roger Q. Mason in Age, Sex, Location.
Let's see if I can get up these stairs. How y'all doing? Hey, Saturday night. Now, you know, I have to spill a little tea. I'm going to have to tell you all about a certain gentleman caller who might or might not live in Brooklyn anymore. There's a saying old says that love is blind. Still we're often told, seek and ye shall find. Well, I'm going to seek a certain lad I've had in mind. I was in love once. He was Basque, Spanish, and French, and Italian. All the Romance languages gorgeous in one long, lean, soft, warm body. I felt safe. Like I could let my abdomen pooch out at dinner and he would not judge me. I felt real. He did not want to know me behind the safe veil of a woman's voice. He wanted to know me for me. And that was different, truly. We go on a date, then another. It's New Year's Eve. We go to his place, child. What do you want to drink? He asked. What are we having? He does not answer. He disappears and comes back with some concoction involving gin and sugar and something citrus. He dips his pinky in it. Make sure it tastes right. And I sip, trying to taste the unseen atoms left lingering behind as his pinky leaves the liquor. We sit on the couch. That liquor brings heat to my veins. I put my head on his shoulder. His bones are strong. I put my head on his chest. His heart is full. I put my head in his lap. His core is warm. There's a somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone who'll watch over me. I give him a kiss. A kiss like a bee gives a gardenia flower in the springtime. You seem solid to me. So solid that I could lie down and let you run through me with no protection. And everything would be just fine. He pauses, looks confused. It's not like that, he says. We're just friends. You're not my type. I'm a little lamb who's lost in the wood. I know I could always be good to one who'll watch over me. Won't you tell him, please, to put on some speed? Follow my lead. Oh, how I need someone to watch over me.
Right.
Let's hear it one more time for Roger. Up next, we have the Democratic National Committee presents FTP 2023. Hashtag already great. Written by Beth Hyland, directed by Lila Rachel Becker.
Diane! There's my favorite coworker. It's so great to see you around the office again.
Hey, Nancy. I know, right? It's kind of crazy to be back in person. I'm like, wait, how do I adult again?
It really is crazy. But I think we can also agree that it's best for all stakeholders when employees get to collaborate in person.
Totally.
So how's your day been so far?
It's been good, but man, can you believe those gas prices? I had to fill up on the way here, and it was almost $7 a gallon. How is Joe letting this happen? I thought things would get better when he was in office, but it feels like everything's just gotten worse.
Whoa, it's the fake news for me.
Huh?
Everything's gotten worse. What about the 50 federal judges he confirmed? What about the 81 bipartisan bills he signed? What about the 6% GDP growth? That's true. And you're saying $7 is too much for gas. But how much do you spend every day on avocado toast?
Wow, that just happened.
So, really quick.
Yes, yes.
Sorry. So I'm just thinking about motivation here.
Absolutely.
Because she says, like, you're complaining about gas being $7 a gallon, but how much do you spend every day on avocado toast?
Yeah.
And so, not to say, like, tonally, but in terms of motivation, is this a playful jab, or is this a real, like, calling you out?
Right. Well, what do you think?
I mean, my first impulse is that it's a friendly, like a, just teasing. But then just a few lines later, she kind of makes another dig at Diane.
Right.
Like, if gas really feels too expensive for your taste, you can try biking to work. And bonus, you can maybe fit back into your hard pants. Hashtag self-care win.
Right.
And so maybe, like, I don't know, maybe they were like frenemies.
I hear you. I'm hearing that. I do just want to name that since one of the stated collective agreements of the DNC Presents FTP 2023 is uplifting women and girl bosses of all genders, I do kind of want to veer away from the narrative of women not supporting other women and really any other plot device that's listed as problematic on tvtropes.com. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Okay, great. Oh, but on the other hand, obviously conflict is a very healthy part of relationships and friendships, and so I want to hold space for that. Right. Diane, what do you think? Sam?
Yes, sorry, what do I...
What do you think about that line?
Oh, right! Yeah, no, yeah, I really agree with what you said. I think that was great.
Heard.
And in terms of space.
Oh, right, yes, great question. So, when we're at the wing, we're going to be in one of their bigger conference rooms. It's either going to be the Bethany Frankel or the Madeleine Albright. But in either case, it's going to be a lot bigger than this, so I want you to really take ownership and take that space.
Awesome.
Right? Great. So you really feel empowered that way. All right, so let's go back. But really, really quickly, one thought for you, Hannah. This is a really big moment in Nancy's journey, right?
Definitely.
Because Nancy hears her friend Diane totally buying into this fake news that there's so much more that President Biden could be doing. So this is the moment where Nancy realizes people want so many things from the Democratic Party, right? But they're wrong to want them. And it's my job to tell them just how wrong they are.
Got it. Got it.
Sam, anything else from you before we take it from the top?
Nope.
Okay. Sam, I just want to name, and I hope you both can support me in making this a brave space. In my experience, and it's my subjective experience, but my experience of your energy right now is that it's tired, right? Distracted, right? And I want to honor the validity of whatever it is you're feeling. Because, one of the community agreements of FTP 2023 is all feelings are valid. But I also do want to invite you, if you feel space and safe enough to do so, to share a little bit. Maybe bring a little bit of what you're feeling into the space with us.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, folks.
Oh, folks, right. You're right, I am distracted. I'm a little, I'm just really tired, honestly. And I know I'm not being my best collaborator or scene partner, so Hannah, I'm sorry too.
Please don't apologize.
I've been bar backing on top of my 9-to-5. So I work in Midtown, and then right from work I go uptown and do a shift like 3 times a week, and then also on weekends. And I get out of bar backing at like 1-ish, 2-ish, depending. Later on weekends, obviously. And by the time I get home, it's 2:33, and my job starts at 8:30. And now they want us coming in again 5 days a week, even though we were fine doing it from home. And so I basically am just not sleeping. Not sleeping at all, basically, and it's really affecting my acting, as you can see, and auditioning, which I basically haven't been doing, which is exactly what I didn't want. Like, my thing was always, I'm not going to let my day job get in the way of my actual job, which is acting, but I had to get another job because of my loans. And, yeah, like, it just feels endless. You know what I mean? It feels like it will literally never end. Like, I've been paying, and I haven't even touched it. It's been, 6 years, and just seeing that number getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it feels like, I just feel sick to my stomach, like, all the time. Like, you know that feeling if you're goofing around in class, and the teacher's like, Sam, and kind of gestures you to come to her desk, and your stomach drops, and you're like, oh, fuck, this is gonna be bad. It's like that feeling, but literally every day, all the time, just walking around. And for a bit, I just stopped paying because I was like, what's the fucking point? But then they started calling and calling and calling and calling my parents. That was the worst. Calling my parents and my grandma, because they make you do that. They make you put their names and phone numbers down so they can get them, and that was the worst. My grandma called me asking, what's going on? Are you okay? And having to be like, yeah, I'm okay, Grandma. I just don't have it. I don't have it. I can't pay it. I don't know what I'm going to do. It doesn't even feel real a lot of the time. Just like, when am I going to wake up? And there was that second when it was like, he's going to cancel them. Right in front of me. And that feeling, God, none of it was actually worse when it didn't happen. It was worse than if they'd never brought it up in the first place. Just feeling stupid, where have you been? Why would you ever think anything would ever change?
That sucks.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
When someone says they're going to do something for you and then they don't do it, it's almost worse than if they just said, hey, I can't do that for you.
Exactly.
Like, just be honest in the first place.
Yes.
It's like, it's worse if it's someone that you really almost believed in.
Right? Because it's just some asshole you're like, okay, I have no expectations.
But if it's someone you trust, then it hurts so much more.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay! Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. I'm just so grateful and appreciative, truly grateful that you were willing and had that courage to do so. And to all of that, I would just say, this is why it is so important that we vote. And we vote again. Right? That's the only way out of this. The only way our problems can be solved. With a Democrat in the White House. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this work. That's why this work is so crucial. That's why we're doing this important work. Because we know from hundreds of years of experience that theater can make a difference. Right? Hamilton, right? And in this moment, we are ready to be change makers. We are taking this funding from the DNC Presents FTP 2023 in partnership with BetterHelp.com, and we are making a difference.
Yes.
The audience is going to be insane.
No shit.
I mean, Lena's going to be there, and two of the three Pod Save America guys. But I mean, that goes on saying, right? And I don't even know if I told you, but Jenny, our playwright, she just texted me that she got staffed at Netflix's new show, Zeke and Zoe, that show about the two hedgehogs with social anxiety.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Like, NBD is just saving the world. Yeah, let's check in. How are you feeling?
I am feeling ready to do the scene.
That's what I want to hear. All right. Okay, let's go back. Let's take it from...
Whoa, it's the fake news for me!
Oh, yes, perfect. Let's go back. Transition.
Great! Whoa! It's the fake news for me!
Huh?
Everything's gotten worse. What about the 50 federal judges he confirmed? What about the 81 bipartisan bills he signed? What about the 6% GDP growth?
That's true.
And you're saying that $7 is too much for gas. But how much do you spend every day on your daily skinny frappa maca latte and your avocado toast?
Wow, that just happened.
And to drop some knowledge, do you really think we're worse off than when we had a Cheeto in the White House?
No, of course not. I'm just really feeling that pain at the pump.
If gas really feels too expensive for your taste, you could try biking to work. And bonus, it'll help you fit back into your hard pants. Hashtag self-care win.
Wow, Nancy, I never thought about any of this.
Tell me you're a Sagittarius without telling me you're a Sagittarius.
alone. I didn't have a friend and no place to go. But if I ever get my hands on a dollar again, I'm gonna hold on to it till that eagle grins. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. In my pocket, not one penny, and my friends, I haven't any. And I meet my long lost friends. It's mighty strange, without a doubt. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. I mean, when you're down and out. For our final act, we have the anthropologists #Beavers.
How much wood can a woodchuck
Places, everyone.
May 21st, 1937 for the New York Times by Brooks Atkinson. Believing that plays for children should have a moral significance, the Federal Theater has conscientiously produced a revolutionary bedtime story, The Revolt of the Beavers. In the form of a Mother Goose fantasy, it is a primer lesson in the class struggle. But the colorful little fable, which the WPA has produced for their entertainment and education, portrays the struggle playfully in terms of oppressed beavers. By uniting and shooting down the chief's company police with revolvers and machine guns concealed in their lunch boxes, the hungry beavers joyfully overthrow their industrial oppressors. Many children now unschooled in the technique of revolution now have an opportunity, at government expense, to improve their tender minds. Mother Goose is no longer a rhymed escapist. Jack and Jill lead the class revolution.
They couldn't get to any audiences for anything other than communistic plays.
Now, gentlemen, I have here the proof that that is an absolutely false statement. We have as sponsoring bodies for the Federal Theater lists of organizations covering 20 pages of this brief, which I intend to write into the record, and I will summarize them for you. Note, gentlemen, that every religious shade is covered, and every political affiliation, and every type of educational and civic body in the support of our theater. It is the widest and most American base that any theater has ever built upon.
You heard the testimony relative to the revolt of the Beavers?
I did. I was very sorry that Mr. Brooks Atkinson, whose skill as a critic and whose learning are valued very greatly, was disturbed by this play, and that the police commissioner was disturbed. But we did not write this play for dramatic critics, nor did we write it for policemen. We wrote it for children, and I wish to write into the record what the children thought about the play.
Of course, you know they were not criticizing it because they thought that it was not an amusing play for policemen.
They were criticizing it because they said that they thought it was poisoning the minds of the youth.
That is correct.
Now, I wish to write into the record a survey on the revolt of the Beavers.
They asked those questions of whom?
Of 50 children in the public school. I want you to know that I would not wish to poison the minds of the children.
Communism. Workers' rights.
The reaction of the police commissioner in New York City. What attention did you pay to their reaction?
We found that the children, the audience for which it was planned, enjoyed it, and found, as I have told you, nothing subversive in it. To the best of my knowledge, the police commissioner did not say in his letter that he had even seen the play. He was alleged to have seen it.
And we strip, 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 and we clip, 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 and we stack, 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 and we pack, 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 and we strip it, and we clip it, and we stack it, and we pack it. Work, 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 work. But the chief of all the beavers, he gets all the bark we make, and all he does is pull the levers while we work until we ache.
We don't want to work for the man anymore! To advocate communism, social problem plays of a revolutionary nature.
Yeah. Did you ever try to put on any other kind?
Yes, I did. And I had my scenery slashed, I had my lights cut out of me, and my actors taken out of cast.
Who did that, Mr. Stark?
I would like to know. They did that to me. The Revolt of the Beavers was one play.
What was communistic about that play?
The play is about two children going up north, with the north wind, right? So they gotta go up north, and that's where the beavers are, right? They're working there. There were two groups of beavers. One was the worker beavers, and the other were the bosses. In the story, the beavers were supposed to advocate a revolutionary theory of smuggling in the places where they worked, guns and arms, to overthrow the bosses and to overthrow constituted authority. This play was banned in New York City by the New York City Police Department 3 weeks into production.
Have you guys seen this? Mother Goose Marxism?
Why should this poisonous neo-Marxist ideology be funded by the federal government?
Dear Miss Flanagan, I not only would not accept such ticket for members of the Police Athletic League of the Juvenile Aid Bureau, but will, to the best of my ability, oppose the presentation of this play at any time and on all occasions to children. It is my hope that some action will be instigated to suppress or at least censor this production. Very sincerely yours, Deputy Police Commissioner. What?
Do you believe that the theater is a weapon?
I believe that the theater is a great educational force. I think it is entertainment. I think it may be all things to all men.
Do you believe that
Do
the
you believe
theater
that the theater
is a weapon?
I believe that the theater is a great educational force. I think
Do
it
you
is
believe
entertainment.
communism?
I think it is.
Do you believe?
I think it may be
What
all
about the
things to all
children?
men. I believe.
What about the children?
Cultural agenda.
The play teaches us never to be selfish because you don't get anything out of it. The acting, how to get around on stage. That is what I like. The acting big people do as small children and how good they acted as beavers on roller skates. And grown people acted their parts as children very well, especially on the roller skates. That it is better to be good than bad. That beavers have manners just like children. We teach that if you are unkind at any time in your life, you will always forget it. Never to be so. To get the beavers to be like children 9 years old, thinking it would be more fun if everyone was 9 years old and the land of talking beavers on roller skates.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the FTP Cabaret. Can I big round of applause for all the artists who made work tonight?
Who worked behind the scenes to make this happen, and a huge thank you to Jalopy Theater for letting us be here, and yeah, and a huge thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you so much.
We're all going to get a drink next door at Jalopy Tavern. We hope that you will join us and tell us what you think. And those of you on the internet, we hope you will email us or head to theaterandasylum.com/donate. Thank you. And have a wonderful night. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.